Oh no, this is mean actually. Not only do you get your first down that early, but since this hook here is right next to where your ruin was, you have a stack of Pentimento up, which means right now 30% slowdown on those generators across the board, which meant you had to come in as the survivors. You don't really have the ability to, let the survivor hang. We'll all spread up on some gens and go ahead and grind those things out while someone progresses to a second stage, because 30% on top of that 80 seconds for a gen, that makes it to where it would only get you 3 gens basically for an elimination. Hey, what it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back to YouTube. Back so soon. We've got some more Blood Moon League action for you. We're still in group play. Remember, the Blood Moon League, brought to you, of course, by the Wolfpack, is a new spin to competitive DBD. There's group play here, kind of like you see in the World Cup of soccer or football, depending on where you're at in the beautiful sphere that we call Earth. But in the World Cup, you've got group play before you actually get to the elimination brackets, just like we have here in Blood Moon League. And we are still in group play. This matchup here, we're going to be seeing Antithesis versus Shadow Wolves. And there's a couple of reasons I wanted to show this matchup here, right? One of them being, I've been enjoying watching Nemesis as we have seen Nemesis be released into comp, and seeing Nemesis getting more use and seeing the strategies not only from our survivor teams and how to counter the Nemesis, but also what the strategies are that our killers are bringing. But this one in particular I wanted to show because we see a comp Dead by Daylight game arguably decided by Hex Pentimento. I know y'all want to see it, so let's go ahead and get right down into it. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment if y'all enjoy the video. Make sure y'all check down there. Make sure y'all are subscribed, turn those notifications on. That way we can catch you right back here for the next video. Alright. Till next time though, for real, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love harder. Alright, y'all. It's your boy Q, signing out. All right, let's go ahead and take another trip on back into the fog here, as we do see Ace getting found very quickly. And more importantly, not only getting found, but actually getting an M2 hit, which is going to help tier up that ability to be able to break the pallets as far as once we get to tier 2 and tier 3 as far as with our power itself. Now going to the backside of the T-wall here, trying to see if we can catch Ace out of position. This could be really big for Antithesis here. If your killer can establish it down just like that here, we're talking about 45 seconds into the trial, and that's hook number 1.
It's a very, very incredible first chase here, and a very quick down that is putting some pressure onto Shadow Wolves here, and that is not how you want to get your game started here. First stage coming out on the top side of the map here, which is important to mention because quite often we do have a nice 3-gen setup here, but this doesn't seem to be the case this time. We can tell that it's around the shack side to it's actually, yeah, you can make this work here on the top side. It could be worse for you. It's definitely not the horror 3-gen you sometimes see on the circus here on Father Campbell's Chapel. And I do agree with the decision we currently see, because camping out this survivor into second stage is definitely something you can do when you get your first down that quickly into the game.
Oh no, this is mean actually. Not only do you get your first down that early, but since this hook here is right next to where your ruin was, you have a stack of Pentimento up, which means right now 30% slowdown on those generators across the board, which meant you had to come in as the survivors. You don't really have the ability to, let the survivor hang. We'll all spread up on some gens and go ahead and grind those things out while someone progresses to a second stage, because 30% on top of that 80 seconds for a gen, that makes it to where it would only get you 3 gens basically for an elimination.
This is going to be the next down onto Fats here. You also do smack your zombie. There's the this is now just so much pressure for our killer here. You can kick this generator here as well, so you are still in your good position. You have your Hex Totem over here. You can prepare the main building in the meanwhile and just casually find the survivor who is hiding inside. Hello Sturmfurt, welcome in here on Father Campbell's chapel. But our killer playing really confident, and he really gets the value out of his very quick first down here. We often talk about how important the early game is, right? And this killer here really set himself up for a very, very good mid game. And if he does continue this and gets another quick down potentially towards the mid game, then he might come out with a very good result here.
Yeah, this is going to be big here too, because now you'll notice down in the bottom left-hand corner, thanks to the last time that we saw our killer hit the zombie as far as with the tentacle, thanks to that T-Virus sample, the green add-on, and actually we're seeing the add-on value there as well, really helping with that mutation rate. And right now at level 2, as we've already seen from our killer thus far, has been able to use the tentacle to break some of those breakable walls around the middle, but also you can use that to remove pallets as well, kind of similar to, I guess you could say, the way that the demo dog does with the shred. It's always an ability to quickly break the pallet and not allow for much distance to be made here. Also, again, going to be seeing the 2 survivor save coming in here, and this is going to be big because still, yet again, we're talking about only 1 gen being complete. And while we have 2 people coming in, only 1 survivor is going to be able to attack those generators. But with the stack of Pentimento here, that generator progress is slowed down by 30%.
And this is going to be crucial towards the mid-game here, because not only do we have the slowdown, we have the next down on this survivor over here. And we know what that means. That is going to be the elimination coming in onto Fats here. And this is going to be the 3v1 situation here. So this is absolutely incredible for our Nemesis here. And now a 3v1 with 4 generators up queue. This is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you look around, our survivors do have the ability, especially since that generator that we were just by, you saw had a whole bunch of progress. It was a dry kick that we saw on it. But if they can complete that gen and the one on the opposite side of the chapel from there, they are set up with a relatively strong, oh my goodness, nice strike with the tentacle there. And that also upgrades our killer here to tier 3, which means now they're going to be able to move faster while they are using that power there also, which means they can minimize that distance. Also, you get the little bit of extra range as well, which makes you that much more of a threat. 2 survivors injured. We do see that generator, though, across the way getting complete. That was one of those 2 ones that we were talking about. We got a zombie here getting the hit as well. Let's go.
Absolutely, this is Zombie and Nemesis working together, but the Firecracker is pulling something back. Important to mention, though, if you're confused why 2 Firecrackers will be dead, that's an exception for the Nemesis, as the flashlight is banned because of the zombies. So 2 Firecrackers are in the survivor resources for the games against the Nemesis here. However, this is going to be the next fresh hook onto a survivor. Hook stage number 4 coming out. 3 gens to go still. We do need an efficiency on these generators very, very soon here. Otherwise, I feel like Shadow Wolves is handing out too much time to the killer, and our killer has proven since the start of the game that you shouldn't give him this time.
Yeah, this is going to be big here because now, I mean, you kind of get to hang around where you still have a little bit of a 3-gen. And then, now even if you're attacking those 2 gens across the way, and also we're going to be seeing a little bit of the heartbeat to give us a little bit of that information, lets us know that survivor's sitting on the 1 gen. But again, you monitor the 1 gen that you got the dry kick on. We see the 2 over here. Even if they knock out the 2 gens across the way, you're still set up with a 3 gen basically on the circus side. And I mean, honestly, our killer here has earned the right to just kind of vibe here and just watch the hook states can kind of progress here.
Yeah, you have a lot of time here on this. It's also good, right? You see any incoming rescuer pretty early, so you will not be surprised by Survivor coming out of nowhere and taking this unhook here. And I think we might see the sacrifice coming in onto Sturmfurt here in exchange for generators. However, if they do that, they should get both generators out of the way, because fighting the last generator out of this game in a 2v1 is possible with this setup, but definitely tremendously harder. So if you go for the elimination onto your teammate here, you should make sure that the generators are coming out here. So far we have around 25 seconds left on this survivor here. We do not see a generator coming out right now. That makes me thinking, Q, that they split up individually here.
Well, also remember that the gen that we saw that got done first is the one that we saw only a single heartbeat on. As far as maybe that allowed us to know they split up here. I'm wondering though if they're paired up on this generator here, which as you can see has a lot of progress, but not quite to where the fourth piston is able to be moving here. That does mean that I mean, we still have the 3-gen across the way. Oh, and now we have a potential zombie being able to protect the one doorway here as well. We've got our killer being able to zone the Claudette here inside of Shack. Oh, but they broke up the 3-gen across the map.
That's a very good move by Shadow Wolves here. They did the generator they really needed here, and on top of that, Cowboy made a lot of distance now away from the Shack here and away from the killer, pulling the killer towards the top side. And we have just seen that this one on the bottom side has quite some progress, so maybe the survivor rotated over. There is going to be the live play, and that is going to be the infection onto Cowboy here, but he can still go for a run here, pre-dropping the pallet. That is all now very needed seconds here. If Adam rotated over, taking over this Shackgen, that should be gen number 5 coming out.
Yeah, and it is worth noting that we, once again kind of saw the very quick I think that was the use of the vaccine there that we saw as far as give the notification since they were right there, because you also saw they got rid of the infection. But that is a fresh hook there. We do have a fresh hook available, which is Dazzy, who just completed generator number 5. Now you'll notice on the right side of your screen there is no haste status here, and it does make me wonder if maybe we're potentially, or I shouldn't say maybe, but if and that means our mutation rate, we aren't into stage 2 yet. That means Slow doesn't have the ability to break those things like the pallets and breakable doors while continuing to move here. We saw 2 gens pop. Wouldn't be surprised to see a 3rd gen pop relatively here soon. That's going to be that pain resonance value though. That not only gives you a little bit of time as far as with knowing where the survivor is, but also you compare that, or they combine that with the dead man switch, and now that gen can't be worked on for a bit.
That's a very interesting combination here. So far, he gets a lot of value out of this, but important is you need another down as quick as possible here. And this is not going to be the infection Slow Galio looked out for here. The Jake is now able to move back towards the mid part and the main building, which is, I think, Slow was trying to keep the survivors here at the top side, but a very nice M2 now onto the survivor over here. So now you have the ability you just mentioned, you can get rid of the resources a little bit quicker. However, if Jake is putting up a very strong chase here and there's another filler pallet available, in this case it might happen that 2 more generators are getting completed here.
Yeah, and that would be absolutely huge. I mean, we're looking down as far as minimal stages thus far. That would mean that you would need to have a wicked end game if you're wanting to walk away with the dub. Of course, the other thing that's important for Slow right now, just as we have talked previously today, even just making sure you continue fighting along, make sure you maximize your points here, because that can be a deciding factor later on in group play. Taking extra time though to get the down here in the corner. We see that the survivor was able to push all the way into the corner itself. More time that it takes for the hook, more time that our survivors get to just vibe on the gens and hit M1 and just hit some skill checks. However, we're going to see that resonance dead man switch combo once again.
And here the main building Generator is now going to be protected for a little bit. Quick rescue once again. Antithesis really has a teammate ready to go for the unhook and sets themselves up in a very, very nice way. Slow doesn't get too much time from the Survivor team here. They also are coming around to take a hit here. This is going to be the infection onto the Felix though, but our Jake just has this TNL to work with. Is trying to walk his way back towards this tile over here. It is going to be a mind game double back, but Jake holding W, making some distance. That is going to be some additional time. Greeting this pallet works out as well. Now the M1 though, so the down is coming in. Question for UQ, is this going to be decisive strike?
It looks like it's going to be a no. It doesn't look like we have anybody in the shadows either in order to get the save with the pallet there. But again, getting some pain resonance value, and now going to be seeing the combination of it with the dead man's switch. Still sitting at 3 gens needing to be completed. Worth noting that Slow is having a solid mid game here. However, with the pallet getting dropped, going to be distance built by our tap. That causes Slow to go ahead and break from that chase, comes over to try to interrupt the heal, but that's not going to happen. That means now our survivors get, and it says get stunned, stupid. That's going to be our Felix here, again buying more distance with the stun itself. We see now taking chase back towards the carnival. The only problem is if you go take this chase too deep back here, this leaves plenty of time for your other 3 survivors to break up your gens across the map.
Yeah, this is a perfect location to have the chase in, and even if Jake is taking the injury, he still can circle at least one more time around this tile. Is even going further towards the corner here, now trying to play this filler pallet once again. The greeting on this pallet works, is not hesitating on the survivor side here. Jake with the strong one, but Sugario with a nice mind game leading into the down here. So that is going to be a nice hook stage here, hook stage number 4. But we mentioned it, you need a 4K on all generators remaining. That would mean 8 stages are needed in this 3v1 scenario towards this end game and this last standing generator. Important to mention though, there's no one escapes death. That would potentially help you with an end game, which is an interesting choice, even though Slow is for sure a very, very confident Nemesis here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely would have been able to work out more in their advantage, I think, if you were just able to get a couple of more downs in the beginning portion of this trial, right? You get the combo more of the pain resonance and the dead man switch. I can't help but wonder if maybe we had traded just the dead man switch for either a no way out or no way, what kind of combo or what kind of value that also could have given us. But of course, asking those sorts of questions is always easy from this side of the desk. We are going to see a down though relatively quick here. It's going to be another survivor now going up by a hook. This is also right next to a door here, worth noting. Also, there's some things like these pallets that we can break up and get out of the way. And we do see, I think that was the pain resonance across the map there. Now seeing the dead man switch here as well, though. So it does mean that our survivor across in the carnival has to make a decision. Do they stick on the objective to finish the last and final gen, or they move in for the save? And it looks like the save actually comes in as we ask that question.
The save coming in here, so the decision is in favor of the killer a little bit, getting some more time until generator number 5 is getting completed. And mentioning generator number 5, Slow put up a good amount of pressure towards the mid game here, keeping the survivor team under control after the early game especially. It looked like the survivor team is really taking control over this match here. However, generator number 5 took quite some time, and this is going to be a little bit of a help here by the zombies. So that is going to be the chase on this 4 lane here. This pallet here is one of the last resources on the top side, and this is going to be a nice down applied. The survivor crawling into the pallet, not entirely sure if someone will be around, but this is generator number 5, and now it's a speed run. Is Slow able to keep the survivors in the trial here? 2 are standing. Only 1 stage out would be the win here.
Yeah, this is tough, and a pretty wide split on the doors here as well. I mean, wouldn't be surprised if we see one survivor sprinting across the way, setting up that door while you have someone setting up for the save. Because of course, if Slow goes across the way for the save, goes across the way for that door, you could have gone for the save instead. There's 2 survivors walking out here, which will mean that is going to be Aberration walking away with the dub.
Very, very strong performance here by team antithesis, and even though Slow showed a very strong. You said aberration, right?
Yeah, I did. Antithesis. You are correct.
If you ain't show,